Hello and welcome to the 2021 HRC Open Night. This year we again come to you virtually. Unfortunately, we're not in a position, or COVID doesn't allow us to be in a position to hold an in-person open night. So this night, again, we decided to present a live session tonight. And this session is being recorded, and you probably have noticed on your screen already that it is being recorded. So just be aware of that. Tonight, we currently have your cameras and your mics and the chat disabled, but chat will be enabled as we go through the presentation and towards the end of the presentation to allow you, if you wish, to put a comment into the chat and we'll try and answer your questions at that stage. Indeed, I've attended many a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting and people do not like to ask questions in the meeting, so feel free to email us or to contact the school tomorrow or at any stage in the next week or so if you wish to have a question answered indeed. So the format of tonight, initially I'm speaking to you now, our head boy and head girl will speak to you next, and then we will proceed with the deputy principals, and next year's first year head are going to speak to you as well. So I'm just going to ask our head boy and our head girl to say a few words to you, and then we will proceed with the night. So I'll hand to head boy and head girl now.
Hi, my name is Aisha Karoon and I'm head girl this year in HRC. I'm honoured to fulfil this role. Alongside Matthew and 18 other prefects, together our duty is to create a welcoming environment and caring atmosphere and for first years and represent the school on occasions like tonight. Our card system allows us to visit our first years on a regular basis. These informal meetings give first years the opportunity to voice their opinions, or to voice their concerns and worries, and to chat to us on how they're settling into first year. Here at HRC, students can participate in a range of sports such as football, camogie, hurling, rugby, soccer and athletics. I encourage first years to play as there are many benefits. It is a great way to make new friends who share an interest in sports. Even now, as a sixth-year student, I've gotten to know students from other years from playing sports this year. As well as meeting new people, it is also a break from schoolwork and a chance to get some exercise and fresh air, which is good for your well-being. Students have the opportunity to attend matches here in Mount Bellew and to travel to away matches. This week, first year hurlers went to Roscommon where they played a few matches in the Blitz and won. Today, first year footballers also went to Mayo to play a match and they also won. Since first year, I've played camogie and football for the school. I'm captain of the senior camogie team this year and it's great to be back playing as a team with my classmates. Through the years, I've developed lots of valuable skills from playing sports. As well as improving as a player, I've become very confident and developed communication skills, leadership and teamwork. I strongly encourage everyone to get involved in extracurricular activities, whether sporting or otherwise. You do not have to play sports for club to play for the school. Everyone is welcome to join and be a part of as many teams as they like. I will now hand you over to Matthew.
Hi, my name is Matthew Holian and I'm head boy here in Holy Rosary College. I'm also chairperson of the Student Council. The Student Council discusses various aspects of school life, policies, fundraising, and all important annual Merry Mile. We have regular meetings and each class is represented by a student. My past 6 years in this school have been filled with new experiences, fantastic opportunities, and sheer joy. As a keen musician, this school has fostered my development as a musician. When I started first year, I had never performed in front of an audience before, and the thought of doing so simply terrified me. At the beginning of first year, we had the opportunity to take part in weekly music sessions in the assembly hall during break. With a bit of encouragement from the teachers, I took to the podium, guitar in hand, and started to sing. While this was a million miles outside of my comfort zone, my confidence grew tenfold, and this experience sparked a love of performing in me and my fellow classmates. In this school, we are extremely fortunate to have a strong tradition of musical theatre. At the end of third year, all incoming transition year students can audition for the school musical. When I was in theatre, I took part in the school's production of Guys and Dolls, playing one of the lead roles. This was an unforgettable experience that strengthened our bond as a year group. We thoroughly enjoyed the dress rehearsals, costume fittings and live shows. From set production to prop design, choreography to lighting, makeup to sound engineering, every student partook in one way or another, making memories that we will cherish forever. You can look forward to this year's musical, Little Shop of Horrors, which our present TY students are currently rehearsing for. We hope to see you all at the matinee next March. Listen out for our current first years, who will be singing in the chorus. That could be you next year. While COVID restrictions put a halt to all major musical performances over the past 2 years, we haven't let the pandemic dampen our spirits here at HRC. Last Christmas, we virtually recorded a Christmas CD. I played piano on several tracks, and I gained a fantastic insight into the life of a producer and performer. The album was released on Spotify and YouTube, so feel free to check it out. In doing so, we raised over €1,000 for a local charity. We've taken this to a larger scale this year, as we've just finished recording a 10-track Christmas CD. These tracks will be released in the coming weeks in the lead up to Christmas. Something to look forward to. Regardless of your musical ability, you too can get involved in these activities when you come to HRC. It doesn't matter if you cannot sing or dance, as there is an activity that will suit everyone.
Thank you, Matthew and Aisha. And not an easy task for any student to get up on a night like this to speak in front of lots of people out in the virtual world. So thank you to both of them. HRC is a voluntary Catholic secondary school. We are following the ethos and the tradition of Sisters of Christian Retreat. We set this school up back in 1965. And so since then, the school has grown from the numbers that was in the school at the time, which was small, obviously, to where we are today. And as we go through the school and as we go through the slides tonight, you get a sense of what the school is about, and indeed the ethos of the school and how the school develops each student from when they come in at first year to the fully rounded 6th-year student when they leave. So it's not just about the academic side of things, but it's about nurturing the entire person and to develop each and every student holistically. And some of the things that we do here, just following our ethos and following that Catholic tradition, will be the likes of Catholic Schools Week. We have retreats for all. We raise money for charity, and if you look around the screen there in front of you now at this moment in time, was the community challenge from last year, where various different communities that are parishes, if you like, that are involved in the school competed against each other basically for Korean Cancer Care West. And by the time that challenge was over virtually and it was all done online and distance would stay away from everybody, there was over €2,900 raised for both charities. So that was a brilliant amount of money and a brilliant bit of fundraising. And it's about looking after each other and caring for those outside of yourself and outside of the school also. Each year, and again this year, there's a shoebox appeal, and the second photo on the right up there was the pile, if you like, of our shoeboxes last Monday. It has grown substantially since, and it's brilliant to see all our students looking out for others that are less fortunate than themselves. Okay. So I'm just waiting for the next slide to click on. So in the school each day, we would love to have, I suppose, sisters or something in the school who would be our ethos walking around the school, if you like. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, that hasn't been the case, just with COVID and with precautions and so on. Sister Sumter did celebrate her Diamond Jubilee here last year. She has been in the school and loves to visit the school, indeed, for that matter, and come into the school and speak to the students, but unfortunately, that just hasn't happened with the circumstances we currently have. Each year, also, our TY students take part in the John Paul II Awards, where they take they volunteer and do actions in their own parish in the community in relation to working with, say, readings and singing and that in their parish and their communities, and they get an award and they go to Knock, again, our COVID permitting, to receive the award. Last year they received them here in the school, and the photo on the right is them receiving their awards and the certificates last year. Okay, so some of the other actions that we take place in the school is we get involved in parish projects like HRC Scream. Some of you might have been involved in that just recently, where our TY students, in conjunction with the local GA club, set up down in the forest, and we had a scary Halloween walk, if you like. Last year our TYs made and created that Christmas crib for Montpellier Square, and it'll again hopefully be back in place this year. Again, last Christmas the school and the students in the school volunteered and collected money for money and food for SPP, and our Green Schools Committee are involved in working down in the town and collecting rubbish and making sure the place is that bit more environmentally friendly. So at this point, I'm now going to pass on to Mrs. Larkin, who's one of our deputy principals here, and she's going to talk you through some of the actions and activities that take place in the school.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maura Larkin, Deputy Principals of Holy Rosary College, and I'm just going to go through a few of the activities that take place here in Holy Rosary College. Starting with some of the clips you see in front of you there, we're heavily involved in sport in the school here, and some of the shots you see in front of you are from matches in the last couple of weeks in the school here, including football, rugby, camogie and hurling. We also engage in golf and basketball as well. So moving on to our musical, we're a strong tradition of musicals in the school here. And from this screen, you can see the stage set up in our PE hall. The last musical we had in the school here was Guys and Dolls, and we're delighted to announce that this year's musical is called Little Shop of Horrors and is planned for March 2022. As Matthew referred to earlier, the picture on the left-hand side there is the image that you will see on Spotify for this year's CD. Other areas where we're involved in is actual equestrian, and one of our very talented musicians there, Emily Graney, on the left-hand side. We also had success in the Connacht Senior Hurling in 2019-2020, where we were the Connacht champions. And down in the corner there, you can see some of our juniors are celebrating the junior cert results. We also have educational trips, and on the right-hand side you'll see the Burn, where our lead cert geography students are delighted to return to do the geography field trip as part of the curriculum. And in the middle, we actually had a virtual lesson delivered by Corey from Microsoft Dreamspace. On the left-hand side, annually, we always bring our history students down to see the Forge Museum. Other areas that we're also involved in and participate on an annual basis is Seachtain na Gaeilge. We have a very strong history of debating and quizzes in the school. In fact, one of the most popular quizzes we have here is our annual Christmas quiz on the day of the Christmas holidays. Other areas of interest to students not involved in sporting might be the library and our book club, where students can borrow books from the library that you see in the image in front of you there, and also board games, including chess. We also have a school bank that's run by the TY students, where students can open up a bank account and save as well. Moving on, this week we celebrate Science Week, and as you can see from the images in front of you, we've had several activities in school this week, starting with some of the demonstrations you can see there in front of you in the assembly area. We've had Science Week competitions where there were questions asked. And we've also had numerous webinars, the last of which was this afternoon, from an engineer in Colorado. So our physics students, senior physics students, attended that this afternoon, which was very successful. Formula One in schools for the past couple of years has been very popular, and we've enjoyed tremendous success this year in being in the top 6 in the country and winning the social media award for that. You can see the image of the Formula One racing car, where the 6 students involved designed and manufactured that, and they were also involved in a live presentation to TG Car and were also interviewed on Galway Bay FM. So they were delighted with their success in that particular competition. Now, we also celebrate a lot of speakers in the school here, and starting next week, our annual Friendship Week, we have speakers going to talk to us on various issues like well-being, mindfulness. We have a recent talk to first-year parents on the new junior cycle and internet safety. We also have a coding club, and we attend annual college open days and career fair visits that Ms. Quinn, our career guidance counsellor, organises. We regularly have entries into the Young Scientists in January, and we also have a visiting architect in the schools programme for our TYs. Some students involve themselves with the drama workshops, and we also have a speaker in to do the Drive for Life workshop with TYs, which involves road safety. Science Week activities I've just referred to there. Moving on. Matthew referred to the Student Council earlier. He's the chairperson of the Students' Council. We have a prefect system for leaving certs in the school. We also run an annual MEHL team where they get involved in leadership programmes. Our Chronicle Committee, as you can see the front cover of our Chronicle on the right hand side there, you all got a copy of the Chronicle in the packs that we sent out to schools. And we have a musical committee that are in full swing now, getting ready with the props and stage, etc. for this year's musical. The next image shows great success academically in school, with 3 students achieving 625 points this year and 2 students receiving 625 points last year. So very proud of their achievements. Moving on to our transition year programme, it's very successful in the school. It's 1 year after the Junior Cert programme. It's optional and it's a wide and varied programme. Some of the things that are involved in transition year would be work experience every Tuesday. They also study aspects of the Leaving Cert Maths, English and Irish programme. They have sample optional subjects for Leaving Cert, and some of the areas that they get involved in that would be totally different from the standard curriculum would be the likes of Russian, Spanish, horticulture, drama, dietetics and STEM modules. Some of the following images show some of the activities that were involved in this year. We're delighted to show you these images because they're all newly visited places like Delphi Adventure Centre, where they visited on their first day starting TY here. We had a group coming in to do a bonding session called Teamworks. Drumming workshop took place in the school last week, where a group of visitors brought in drums and they learned how to play them. On the left-hand side, you can see their involvement in Forensics Science Day, and very recently we had huge success with our Halloween walk down in the woods in conjunction with the local GAA club. Out the back, we have our polytunnel, and our TY students are at the moment refurbishing that and getting ready to sew. As you can see from all the images there, it's looking very well, and they're getting ready for the next stage. It's actually one of the subjects on the TY curriculum this year. Also in line with that is our sensory garden and home economics garden in the next slot here, which is located in the centre of the school. And this is very new to some of these students, and they're really enjoying it. And on the next one, our mock trials has achieved great success over the past years, where they involve themselves in a mock trial. They get involved in being prosecutors and offenders. They actually run through the whole trial. They're given the actual case beforehand and they participate at a national level. If they're successful, they go on to compete at New York and enter into further competition. So you can see our 2 groups there that were involved in this year. And also huge success this year in the Aberdeen Angus competition, where the 4 students you see in front of you there came in the top 5 winners in the country this year, where they were promoting Angus beef as a product. They won a very prestigious award of 5 Angus heifers, which they're going to rear over the next 18 months. So we wish them very well, and they're very proud of their achievements, as are we. Now I'll hand you over to Mr. Tierney to talk about the subjects.
Good evening. My name is Martin Tierney, Deputy Principal at Holy Rosary College. In Holy Rosary College, we offer a very wide and comprehensive range of subjects. Our first slide there in front of you shows our junior cycle subjects. So our core subjects are, for junior cert, Irish, English, mathematics, history, geography and science. And this there on the left-hand side, as well as PE, SPHE, CSPE, guidance and ICT. There are then 7 optional subjects of which you will choose 2, and they are applied technology, business studies, graphics, home economics, music, visual art and wood technology. There are 2 modern foreign languages, French and German, and you choose one of those subjects to study for your junior cert. So again, to reiterate the 7 optional subjects, students study 2. Now often students might opt for a subject in August or first year, and after a few weeks might find they don't like the subject. Well, we always have the option to move you to another subject, see how you get on there. As I said, students study either French or German, and science is compulsory. And on that slide there is also form which is in your pack. The pack we deliver to national schools of your subject choices, and that's where you pick French or German or 2 of the 7 optional subjects. And that booklet on the right hand side is also in your pack to give you more details on each of the subjects. So now I'm going to run through the 7 optional subjects, and there's some photos and some slides, and again this session is recorded so you can have a look at them again. But that shows you the music room there and some of the students involved in various activities in the music room. Next slide shows the business studies room, room 24 down the back of the school, and again there are a number of photographs there of different activities they get engaged in each year. Next slide is the home economics section, and the picture on the right is the cookery room, and the picture on the left is the sewing room. And again, here's one of the dishes that one of the students prepared, and also some of the craft work they prepared in the textile room. In the art room, there is just a few photographs there of different pieces of art produced by students over the year. And we have offered you the opportunity to visit the school on next Saturday or the following Saturday. And if you come in, you'll see more of those artworks in the art room during that visit. Again, that's the woodwork room, and we have 2 woodwork rooms, and they are some of the projects produced by various students over the last year. And finally, I think it's finally, the tech graphics room, and there's the tech graphics room on the top left of that slide, and some of the project work which the tech graphics students got involved. And I think there is one more as applied technology. In the technology room, and again, some of the key rings and bits and pieces that they produced in the technology room for their junior cert. The next slide then is the subjects we offer to leaving cert. And again, when you're in TY or third year, we'll be going through this in more detail with you so you can make a good choice. So the core subjects, again, for leaving cert are English, Irish, mathematics, and PE, religious education, and careers. Again, students opt between French and German, 2 modern foreign language subjects, and then there are 17 optional subjects of which you pick 3. And they are, and we'll give you more information of this before you go into 4th year or 5th year, and they are accounting, agricultural science, applied mathematics, art, biology, business, chemistry, construction studies, DCG, or design and communication graphics, geography, history, home economics, leaving cert physical education, which is an examinable subject, and we introduced that 2 years ago, as distinct from the PE, which is in the core subject which every student takes. A number of students takes PE for examination. LCVP, music, physics, and technology. As you see, most of those subjects follow on from a subject you will have taken in junior cert. So that finishes up me. I think Mrs. Gershi is next. She's going to be your year head next year. And looking forward to seeing you on the following Saturdays, and looking forward to meeting you in September. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. You're all very welcome to our virtual open evening here in HRC. My name, as Mr. Thierry already mentioned, is Mrs. Gershi. And if you choose to come to Holy Rosary College next year, I will be your year head. I'm just going to talk to you now about some of the student supports in Holy Rosary College. So the structure works like this. So we have supports from students, namely the TYs, the CORAs and the prefects. The TY students are very involved in the integration of the first years into Holy Rosary College. They are very supportive, especially during the first few days and the first weeks of first years settling into Holy Rosary College. On the first day, the TY students will show you to your classroom, and they will show you around the school and give you a tour of the school. As Matthew and Aisha already mentioned, we have the prefect structure in the school as well. So the 6th year students will be the prefects, and usually 2 prefects are designated to each class group to support and advise the first years throughout the year. Move on then to the class teachers and the year head. class teachers and the year head work collectively to promote well-being of each student, and we encourage every student to reach their full potential. We also work to support all students pastorally, and we work in collaboration with other members of the pastoral care team here in the school. Move on next to the chaplain. Sister Sumta is our chaplain, and her role is a faith presence in the school. The guidance counsellor is Mrs. Quinn. Mrs. Quinn's primary role is to provide personal, social, emotional and career guidance to all students in HRC. And then the deputy principals and the principal provide ongoing support and presence, a presence to all students in all aspects of school life. I'll move on now to the next slide, resource learning and support. In a recent whole school evaluation, the Special Educational Needs Department was highly commended. It's composed of 3 fully qualified resource teachers and 7 SNAs. We are all well aware in Holy Rosary College that all students learn differently and they learn at a different pace. And we accommodate this by using multi-sensory approaches to our teaching methods and our planning. Students will do a Cat 4 test when they come to the school, and this is just a test that indicates the student's ability. And we can discern from those tests the student's strengths and weaknesses. We also have a reading intervention programme. The programme that's recommended by the National Educational Psychological Service is called SNP, and this is used to improve students' reading age. We also have extra classes. This is a facility that gives additional classes to students who need extra help throughout the year in various subjects. Ms. Hines will be the first year resource link teacher next year. If you choose to come to Holy Rosary College, Mrs. Hines will be making contact with you in the coming weeks. And just moving on now to the level 2 learning programs, the level 1 learning programs. These are designed for students who may not be able to access the curriculum for junior cycle. So these programs are designed for students who may have moderate learning difficulties. A student can study some subjects at a level 2 or a level 1 in that level 1 or level 2 program, and they can do a combination of those with the regular junior cycle program subjects at level 3. And all of these programs are certified by the Department of Education. So I'll just hand you over now to Mr. Graham. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gurley. Okay, so I'm now going to speak to you just a little bit about our admissions policy, and indeed this is something that over the last maybe year or two people have talked a lot about, and the criteria you see on the screen in front of you are the criteria that we admit or we let people into the school based on. Now, once ever this has happened and that we have to use these criteria and to use the step-by-step criteria in it, and we hope not and don't envisage that this is going to happen again, but if it does, and if it did, this is the criteria, I suppose, that will be selected. So our admissions policy is available on our website for any of you that want to see, along with our admissions notices there as well. So on the same page that you clicked on the website to access tonight's link to get to the Teams meeting, on the left-hand side of the web page, if you're on a laptop or on a computer, we'll say, it's on the left-hand side, there's links there, including the links to our prospectus and the subject choice information booklet as well. So all of that is on our website, but they are the criteria that are applied, if you like, in terms of criteria getting people in and out. I noticed actually on the screen that there's a couple of people that have their hands raised in terms of trying to come in. I know there's 1 or 2 people that are dropping out and dropping back in again, and we're admitting them as they are. But we will be allowing questions in that and putting up, opening the chat in a minute or so for that to happen. So at that point, we'll hopefully answer the questions that people have at that stage. Okay, so important dates, just for your own information, really. The 22nd of November is the date which we would hope all our applications are in by. So the closing date for applications is 22nd of November, and parents will be notified of the decision whether there is a place or not for their student in the school by the 3rd of December. And indeed, we hope to have it done prior to that. We visited, myself and Martin Moore, who you've seen earlier, visit all the different primary schools. We gave an enrollment pack out to each of the students, but if for some reason your student was absent that day and they didn't get a pack, or we didn't get to your school, or it lost or it's missing, please give us a shout and we will send one to you. Alternatively, the application form is available on the website to print, along with the subject choice form as well. We mentioned this already. Tonight, while it's a nice night and it's nice for us to showcase our school this way virtually, it does not beat and it does not take the place of coming into the school to have a look around. Okay, so we have on the letters that were out in the enrollment packs, we've offered next Saturday, the 13th and the 20th, as dates where we will give family by family guide around the school, and we're doing it that way rather than having groups of people together, just to be as safe and have as many precautions as we can. If you would like a tour and either of those Saturdays don't suit you, we will facilitate you on any evening after school. So typically primary schools finish 3 o'clock or so in the evening. We finish at 4 Monday to Thursday, and we finish 1:20 on a Friday. So 4:30 any evening next week or in the next couple of weeks, or 2 o'clock say on a Friday if that would suit you either. Now, we find that students that come in and have a look around, get a sense of the place and get a feel for it, and it's nice, and they kind of are a bit more relaxed about coming in here next September. If now is not the time that you feel that you would like to have a look around and you'd like to wait off, if you in your mind you want to come here, whatever, you'd like to wait off and do that same tour next May, June, that's absolutely fine also. We'll just contact the school and we'll facilitate it as best we can when we can. Okay, transport, and it's a question we're asked every year when we're here in person having an open night. Our local bus area inspector for the bus area and buses that bring students to the school is called Brendan Sherrier, and his number is there, the 086 number, the 0864 044 2215 number. He has informed us lately that it's no longer the closest school to you. That rule is no longer the rule that determines what bus or what school the bus will bring you to. It is now the second closest as well. So for some people, over will say that might be kind of slightly outside of the local area. That may be a possibility for you now to look into. And as I say, his number is there, and he will guide you through that process and getting the application forms in and sorted. For those of you that come with Jerry Fahy, that's his number there, and the schools around, the Corfin area, Barnadarry area that he facilitates and he caters for. Again, his number is there if you'd like to contact him. And some students use the Brendan Boyle, the public bus, if you like, who runs the Galway Roscommon bus for you. He runs Longyear 63, if you want a better description as to describe his route. So there are the ways and means in terms of public transport of getting to the school. So transition into HRC, we traditionally have had, and we love to have, a Saturday for our incoming first year pupils, so the current 6th class pupils, in June of, we'd say, 2022 for anyone that's joining next September. We haven't had one, admittedly, for the last 2 years, but the reason for that is obvious, I suppose. And in addition to that, we would also like to have your Cat 4 assessment, which Mrs. Gurley was speaking about, done before you start. And that Cat 4 is only for us, an idea for us to where we might need to help you when you come in. It's got nothing to do with, assigning you to a class or anything like that. Everybody's class is assigned in terms of mixed ability. We've already mentioned this as well, but your first day in September is for first years only, with a small group of TY tour guides, as I call them. Okay, and they will get you around the school. And the question I was asked when I was out to the primary schools is, how do I know where to go on my first day? Well, on that first morning, and any of the current first years that are in the school or second years may remember, I will be standing, and I'm inside the door I'm talking about now, but I will be standing outside in the car park, there to be seen. You won't miss me on that first morning. I'm pointing you in the right direction. And when you come in that door that I point you, both the deputy principals, your year heads who you saw there in front of you right now, and the 10 or so transition year tour guides, as I call them, will be here to guide you to where you're supposed to go. If we're allowed, we'll bring you to the assembly hall and have you in a group, and we'll talk to you and welcome you to the school. And if not, we'll bring you to a base class. But again, those first years, or those TYs I mean to say, we'll bring you to the correct room. So don't worry about anything like that. Traditionally, again, we would have a first year lobby. And those of you that come to the school on first visit walk around will show you that. where your locker would be, and we'll have you all in the one place as first years. However, the last 2 years we have base classes. It's a bit like primary school. We have our first years in base classrooms. So they stay in the classrooms for their maths, their English, their Irish, their history, geography, and then they move for home ec, for woodwork, and so on, for the subjects where you need to go to a specialist room. So it's a bit like primary school, and indeed, in one sense, it makes it a bit easier to get used to the place, because once you get to your room in the morning, and once you're there, that's your base for most of the day. But for the first week or so, those transition years will move you around. They will be your tour guide. They will bring you to the woodwork room. And trust me, after a day, 2 days, you won't need the tour guides. It's always the case. People find their way very quickly. Okay. We do operate a book grant. So for those people that are eligible for the book grant, it obviously subsidises the purchase cost in the books. There's a simple application process. And for those that enrol, we will be getting in contact with you by email next June, we'll say, in relation to that book grant. We will order the books for those people that qualify and supply the books for you. The books will be given to you before you start in August. Okay, so the last week or so of August, you'll get a message to come in and collect it, or collect them. Our uniform, boys and girls both have the same black jumper with a school crest and a white shirt underneath. Boys, mid-grade cloth trousers, and girls have the option between trousers or a skirt. The skirt, a tartan knee-length skirt with black tights underneath, or a custom HRC grey trousers with the blue pinstripe in it. And that trousers at the moment is available in Briggs and Montbellew, but all other aspects of the uniform are available in both Briggs, as it says on the screen there, or the Tune Schoolwear Centre. Supports in first year, or for first years when you come in, your year head will monitor and keep in contact with you and visit you initially every day, and then as the year goes on, you'll get to be more confident coming and going, talking to her. Information packs will be sent to you before you start, so about sports and about enrolment and days and so on, that will be sent out to you. Your physical tours, as I've mentioned already, and I'm not going to harp on about them, I suppose, give us a call, absolutely no problem, we will take you around for a look. Hopefully the day in June, we will most definitely have a parent information night next May, okay? It may be virtual, and it may be in person, time will only tell, okay? If it's virtual, it'll be on Teams a bit like this, and if it's in person, hopefully, which it will be, we'll be here in the Assembly Hall. First years will be the only students, as I said already, on the first day, and you have a wellbeing class in first year where you're taught study skills, you're taught how to use Microsoft Teams in school here if you need to use it, or when you need to use it, and just how to study, and general tips about relaxing and your own self-care. And you'll have the first year base area, the first year lobby, as we call it, as well. Okay, so further information, please do not hesitate to contact us. Again, we're ensuring the number is there, because very often you've missed it the first time. This might be a time to either write it down or take a photo of it. And we're going to open up the comment section now if anybody has questions they would like to ask. Okay, and we will then take you through a virtual tour, or a whistle-stop tour through the school, through I think we'll demo to you in a minute, but you'll be able to do this yourself on your own once we finish. We won't go on through all of the rooms. We'll just show you how to use the tour, if you like, on the website. And this is something you can play with yourself later on tonight, or indeed if you are joining us, before you come into us next September. So the chat, I think, is enabled now if you want to put a comment into it or a question into it. And we're going to move now to the virtual tour. So we're going to stop this PowerPoint for a second. So just take a second to move over to the tour, or the virtual tour. We can walk you around the school like Google Maps, for want of a better description. So it's just going to load there now in a second in front of you. And basically, when you go to the web page, the same web page that you started off with tonight, click on the banner to get in here. On the top right hand side there's that little play button, and you click on that, it takes you to the tour. So we're just going to maximize it in the top corner there of that little window, and it should bring us up to a big screen here now in a minute. Okay, and this is us standing at where the bus will drop you off outside the school gate. Okay, and that school, and if you will just have a pan around if you like, and you just look across and look out at the very front gate of the school there. So no matter where I move around the school now, okay, you will see white arrows on the floor, or that black location marker, for want of a better description, and that white circle. So right now, we're just going to click on the two main entrance arrow on the floor, and it'll zoom us in, if you like, or make it fly us up to the front door of the school. Okay, and this is where your parents will come in, and this is where you come in for the tour on the Saturdays coming. It typically is a parent entrance and teacher entrance, okay? And the student entrance is a little bit over to the side. And we'll just click on that now, and it is over here where you will enter, we'll say, the first morning, and where all our students enter each morning. Okay, so as you look back to the gate, if you like, from there, you're looking back out towards the kids' bus stop and the fire station across the road. So you come in diagonally across the car park or around the paths and across, you'll get us to there. And tonight we're coming to you from just inside the door here, the student entrance door. Okay, so we're just going to rotate around, click on the student entrance and come inside. And if you were here with us now, this is where we're standing. The trophy cabinet that you see in front of you is the trophy cabinet behind me here. Okay, so you come in here on your first morning, hopefully, and you will have your year head, the two level principals and the TYs will be there, and they will take you to where you need to go to. And the 2 hours straight in front of you will bring you actually to the assembly hall. And we'll hope that things are back to normal, and we'll be able to put you all in there and have just a general welcome to everybody as a year group. Okay, so we're just going to move on down to our sacred space, which is just to my left here as you come in, and that is it there. Okay. But we're not going to walk you around the school all the way now, because it will become a little bit tedious for you perhaps to watch. So no matter where I am in the school on this tour, if I click on this black dot, it'll bring a map of the school up for me. Okay, and it's just loading there now, 1 second. Okay, and for example, I'm going to click on the black dot on the map there that says sports hall, the very top of the image that you see. Okay, so when I click on that, it will take me into the sports hall. Okay, and you can have a look around the sports hall. So when I'm in here, I can flick around and zoom around, and I can see what the sports hall looks like, obviously. Again, there's white arrows on the ground, and we will just walk out of the sports hall into the lobby, if you like, or the front area, the welcoming area of the sports hall. Okay, so there's 1 arrow, and then 1 more to get out. Okay, we click to get out of there. So when we're outside there, we can walk out the door and walk out. Is that okay? And we're just waiting for the internet to catch up to us, I think, at this point in time. So we're now just outside the fitness centre, and we can pan around outside here. And when we're out here, we can walk to physically and indeed virtually, like this, walk to the pitch or walk to the technology room, for example. But rather than walking you all around the school, we're going to click on the black dot again, show you back to the map. Okay, and we go to the very front of the school, I suppose, and there we go to the workroom. And the workroom, the 2 workrooms are opening at the front of the school, the bottom left of the building. Okay, and again, when you're in the workroom, you can look around, look at machines, look at the tools, look at the various bits and pieces of equipment that are in there, and walk, in the room for that matter. And no matter where you are in the school, if you pan around often enough, you can click on the black dot and you can get out again. Is that okay? And we'll go one more time maybe to the front of the school. Is the only part of the school that's got a 2-story part of the building. So we'll click on the first one and go to a science lab, just for the sake of an example. Okay, and we are in our biology/ag science room upstairs, so lab 2. And in here you'll see yourself on the walls, demos, you'll see the sinks and tables for doing experiments, your chair, and then like every other room we have, your whiteboard and projector. So again, clicking there will take you out of this room, but it'll bring you to the hall and to the home ec rooms across. And the final place we go to is just show you a standard classroom. Okay, and one more time onto the map, and we'll just go to his classroom down the back. When we did this virtual, when we recorded this or set it up, if you like, this was done prior to COVID, prior to the COVID rules. So you will see in the room here, we have a whiteboard. We have the chairs and tables, obviously, as they're set up here now, they're set up together. The only difference between then and now is that we have those desks separated by a meter. Okay, students have masks on their face, unfortunately. They have hand sanitizer units inside the door, and other than that, it is as it was, for want of a better description. Okay, so that's kind of how you use this. You click the black dot, you find your map, and you go from there. I believe there's a question or two that people want to ask. So, if Aaron, you want to tell me what it is?
Yeah, the first one is there a soccer team for first year boys?
There's a soccer team this year for first year. It hasn't been traditional, but yes, there is one this year, and if there's an interest in it, hopefully we'll be there again next year. Yes.
Is there a soccer team for first year girls?
There hasn't been the interest in the first year girls soccer team yet, but again, I've had a 5th year group of girls come up to me asking me about a 5th year soccer team, and if the interest is there, certainly we'll do our best to facilitate that.
Is the virtual tour on the website? Yeah,
the virtual tour is on the website. We've just gone through there. I suppose it is there, and this a video of tonight and of this live presentation will be put up there once it's finished rendering tomorrow.
And the last question is, can a sibling who is attending the school at the moment take a student around in the evening?
Yeah. I don't know actually how you can hear in the questions or not, but that was a question: is can a sibling of an existing student or could a current student basically take their sibling around the school of an evening after school? And yes is the answer to that question, no problem at all. All I would ask is that you let us know you're coming and that you wait till about 4:30 so that the school has emptied out, and absolutely no problem at that stage. Of course you can.
First year boys rugby team.
First year boys rugby team. Again, we have a junior senior rugby team. We haven't had a first year boys rugby team, but there's a junior and senior rugby team. There hasn't been a rugby team for first years yet.
And the last question I see here is how long are the classes?
Classes this year we moved to hour-long classes, so we've moved to 60-minute classes as opposed to 40 minutes. So we have 6 hour-long classes as opposed to 9 40-minute classes this year. The benefits, I suppose, and the reason why we moved is there's less movement, there's less changing for you, even as first years, to learn to where you go. So you have 6 changes, or as opposed to 9. There's less subjects per day, so less homework per day, and it allows a greater depth of learning within each class for each of the subjects. So yes, we have moved just this year gone by to hour-long classes.
How many pupils in each base class?
Each base class, it varies from year to year depending on the numbers that are coming in. Current first years have 23, 24 in their classes.
Will my child get into HRC if I went to HRC?
Again, I'm not sure you hearing the questions or not. Will my child get into HRC if I went to HRC? Look, if we go back to the slide, which I'm not going to, and go through the admissions policy, the criteria there, I can't give any cast iron guarantees, but we don't anticipate to be, where we are over quota this year.
Are students allowed out of class during school hours?
Students allowed out of class during school hours. Students are allowed out to the toilet and so on during their class if they get permission from the teacher to go. Are they allowed out of class to go to appointments and so on? Yes, once an appointment or the parents come collect. I'm not quite sure what they meant by that, but I think that's it. And I'm being told that is the last question.
Ronaldo.
And yeah, Mr. Tierney is telling me behind me here, we all have to go and watch Ronaldo. So look, before we do finish, I would thank absolutely everybody for attending tonight. We had 125, 26, 27 people at different stages on the call. I know 1 or 2 people that dropped off and came back on, so there was connection issues for 1 or 2 people. But I want to thank everybody for their attendance and attention. I hope it was informative. I do hope you got a feel for the school and a feel for how we do things around here. As I've said already, to get a real sense of the place, I suppose you need to come and have a look around. We invite you at any stage to give us a call, come in, and we will gladly facilitate you having a look around. So look, thank you all very much for attending. And at this point, I think we'll end the meeting. And sorry, I think there's one more
last question.
Coming.
Question: how many pupils are in the school at the moment?
How many people are in the school at the moment? 735 students in the school at the moment. That's the final question, I think. Thank you very much, everybody. There are some people here, certainly, I'm not sure, at home, looking forward to a game that's starting in 10 minutes or so. So look, thank you all again for attending. And look, we hope to see some of you at least here next September. Thank you very much and have a good night. Thank you.